You cannot have social justice without climate justice. You cannot have climate justice without social justice. I'm starting to hear a trend of people saying, oh, the Greens, they're no longer the Green. And I just wanted to dispel that myth, really, because I'm a lifelong left-wing voter and socialist. I've been a Green Party member for, 5 or 6 years since they booted Corbyn out of Labour. Before that, I was a Labour Party member. My first ever vote was Green. So I've not always been politically tribal, but I have always been politically left-wing. But I'm also a passionate conservationist. I love where I live. I love the beautiful beach. I've always loved gardening. I love rewilding projects. I support a group called Mossy Earth, which I'm a member, which does amazing rewilding things around the planet. Please check them out on YouTube. They're awesome. And I've always believed in restoring our planet. And to me, they're one and the same fight, and you cannot have one without the other. But the biggest source of pollution and corruption tends to come from the mega rich and from mega corporations, not just private jet fuel, but, companies that are trashing mines and ruining rainforests and trashing whole ecosystems to make money, who are leaking dangerous and toxic waste illegally to try and make money. When you're a billionaire, you seem to be able to get away with these things. So it's not only that, but it's also to fight the planet. People have to be able to do that. If you want to be plastic free, it's very easy to live in a middle class bubble and be like, oh, look, I don't use plastic. I go to a refill shop. I buy my food locally. I go to my local market and buy local meat and local cheeses, etc. And that's great. And I support people who do that. However, it is also privileged, because when you're a working class young family or single mum or father or whatever, quite often you've just got to go to Tesco or Aldi or Lidl or wherever's near. Everything is wrapped in plastic. Nothing is seasonal. It's so hard to be eco-friendly. It's very easy to get, solar panels on your house and an electric car if you can afford it. But when you're living in poverty or certainly below the median average, that's a very hard thing to do. Social justice is about making sure those people around the world as well who are disadvantaged and are most likely to suffer from climate change is usually the poor. It's usually the vulnerable communities already. Droughts and floods will destroy places across Africa and the Middle East that are vulnerable communities, whereas we might be a bit safer here in England. So it's really important to remember that actually to protect the minority groups, to protect the vulnerable communities around the world, to protect indigenous populations, we need to protect their habitat. We need to protect the biosphere that sustains populations where they are. And that's all around the world for every single one of us. So in order to stop mass migration of people moving because of, wars and floods, we need to have social justice. We need to have climate justice. The two are intrinsically linked. And they're the fight for a fair, beautiful earth. They're a fight for that pura vida, that pure life that we're all entitled to. We're all entitled to enjoy what is around us, and we're all entitled to our fair share of it. And actually, if you work hard and work mindfully in your local area, in your local environment, if you're paid well for what you do so that you can enjoy a standard of life, you can have time to connect with nature, all these things will be drawn up much, much more. So actually, to draw a distinction between the two of them isn't fair. What I think the real difference is that when people say, oh, the old Green Party, they mean the unelectable Green Party, because these billionaires weren't scared of a party that would only get 3 or 4% of the votes. And it's almost, made us feel good that we had a Green Party and we could go, oh, yes, the environment's so important and we can greenwash everything. But now that the Green Party are actually at a point of taking power, they're starting to panic, because the first thing the Green Party will do is, A, tax the wealthy, but also it will start to put really strict restrictions on things that you can't do, things that billionaires get away with to save money and to create money. It will ban private jets, for example. It will ban this luxury lifestyle that people use. Being efficient for, the environment and things is reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce is the first thing. And the thing that the billionaires don't do is reduce. They are excessive. They consume to excess. They utilize to excess. So actually challenging that excessive billionaire culture, challenging capitalism, which is about unending growth. We can't live in unending growth in a finite planet with finite resources. We just can't. We need to stop burning coal. We need to stop cutting down the rainforest. We need to stop destroying communities. We need to stop swapping out beautiful rainforest for fields and fields of soy to feed our meat habit here in the West. And this isn't about, blaming the individual who eats a bit of meat here and there. This is about recognizing that these systemic forces that enable the rich and enable the powerful to kind of stay rich as the things that need to change. So challenging the establishment, challenging those institutions is a job for the socialists, and it's a job for the Greens. That is why we have what is now being termed eco-socialism, which is about challenging inequality wherever we find it and challenging injustice, whether that's injustice for us or for the planet, because it's the same thing. It is one and the same thing. To love the planet, you have to love the people in it. You have to love the wildlife in it. You have to love the environment in it. Now, we do all of those things. We want to stop. Let's take these beautiful seas here. So Southern Water quite regularly fill these seas full of sewage. They do that because they're a privatized company. They've spent years underinvesting in the infrastructure and taking money out in private equity and shareholders, or what is it, pay package that Stephen Lawrence has got this year because he's not allowed a bonus anymore. He's got a 450 grand pay package. It's the neoliberalism of all of our national infrastructures. Now, that is something that costs us all more because we have ever-increasing bills. It costs us because we can't get in our sea, and it costs the planet because we're pumping raw sewage into it. It is the same fight, the fight against neoliberalism. The fight for social justice is the fight for climate justice. So, join the Green Party and get involved. Let's get active. Let's do it. Let's protect our seas. Let's protect our rivers. Let's protect the people who need it. Let's protect minority groups. Let's protect each other. Let's fight against inequality. Let's fight for wealth redistribution. Let's fight and renationalize and nationalize our assets so that we own them collectively, not the mega rich. And let's end the exploitation of the people and of the planet. Thank you very much. Please subscribe if you like this video.